Okay, that will be positive in terms of whether people will check in or check out of the stock. Mayuresh Joshi of Angel Broking has also joined us. Mayuresh, you have a little more time to ruminate over the numbers. Is this in line or is it above your expectation?
Evening, Lata. Clearly, I think refining bang in line with what we were predicting. Petchem definitely surprised us, both in terms of the absolute numbers and margins coming at 14.4%. Again, I think the important and pertinent point that I'd like to raise is that expectations are always high. And again, I think if that 11.5 number has come through, if the market expectations were at 12%, I think it's good for the stock in a way that it will normalize expectations going forward as well. Because you cannot expect Reliance to keep on beating this number quarter after quarter. However, having said that, I think once these planned capacity expansions and the core capex that they've probably done, specifically in terms of the petcoke gasification plant, which will aid the refining margins going forward as well, I think that's going to be a big kicker for Reliance from FY17 onwards. Similarly, on the petchem side, once you're looking at the off-gas cracker coming through and you're probably looking at the PTA plants coming through, you're probably going to see some amount of respite, even if you see the polymer and the polyester spreads probably getting determined by the supply-demand dynamics in China. So clearly, I think it has outbeaten expectations in terms of the petchem performance has been. Refining probably has been in line with expectations and probably is one of the best performance that Reliance has put up to date. So I think operationally, as Mr. Tulsian, as I'm hearing him as well, I think the tax rates have been normalized. You're probably looking at no contribution incrementally happening from other income as well. So it's an operational beat that is coming through. The throughput numbers that Anuj mentioned, I think exceptionally good. So I think over the past few quarters, you've actually seen Reliance actually generate around 110% in terms of throughput.
Yeah,
so I think all positive.
Yeah, Mayuresh, is actually 116% this time for the last quarter. So that's something that we were discussing, that it could be operating at 116% of the capacity. So that's the numbers we have. But Mayuresh, the same question that I'm asking, the stock has priced a lot of this in. Tomorrow morning, what do you see on the stock? Do you see another rally, maybe another 3 or 4%, or do you think most of the good news is now in the price?
Clearly, I think, Anuj, the expectations were running high, right? So I think you might see some disappointment probably coming through. But you always have to see the larger picture with Reliance. And as I was mentioning earlier as well, I think they're almost at the end of their capex program. What this effectively means is that the cash flows will now start improving because no capex is probably expected to come through incrementally, at least on the core businesses, whether that's petchem or refining. Now, once those capacities start getting commissioned from the first half of FY16, FY17 numbers will be exceptionally good, and consider that base over FY16. So clearly, I think even if you see some amount of downside out of the stock, our own take is that the cash flows would improve, the ROEs, which have probably got depressed because of the non-core capex, specifically on the telecom part of almost ₹1 trillion. I think even that will start contributing in a year and a half time frame. So clearly, I think a lot of more positives probably into the stock in terms of operational capabilities coming through. So I think I'll not be perturbed if the stock does correct tomorrow. In my opinion, it might start lower. Clearly, I think it becomes a very good buying opportunity for long-term investors. But clearly, I think this is not a stock that has to be seen on a quarter-on-quarter basis. And clearly, I think if you look at FY17 numbers and if you predict those numbers, I think they'll be far better in our estimates compared to what FY15 and 16.
Okay, Lata, before that, sometimes I love to play devil's advocate. Just want to point out one more number. The other income is higher. Right? If you look at the consolidated numbers, the other income has gone up from 1,600 crores to 2,400 crores. And if you look at the standalone number, the other income has gone up from 1,600 crores to 2,300 crores. So that's a nearly 700 crore jump in other income. Ms. Tulsian, a word on the other income. That
is what I was checking, in fact, because if you see the interest income again, what generally happens, let me again give an explanation. Again, one has to go through the detailed press release. If you see, the interest income has fallen from 776 crore to 667 crore. I'm again referring sequentially. I'm trying to give you the explanation. 109 crore. But what happens that they have the mutual fund income, or maybe so that income is taken in the other income. So again, you can't say that this is a non-recurring kind of income, because this kind of treatment we have seen in the past also, which has given a jerk that this income seems to be a non-recurring nature. Again, which companies must clarify. That will come in the detailed press release. But again, I'm not disturbed by that, because if you really see the treasury income, it goes parallel. Entire interest income, entire interest expenses gets offset by the interest income. That has been the tradition. They have a very good treasury management. So I'm just trying to give you an explanation, because there is a drop of about 100 crores that mutual fund, if you have gone for the redemption and all that, the treatment So that has probably resulted into the higher other income by about 700 crores. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's the reason. In fact, you should see these segment results, and that will give you the clear picture.
The cash and cash equivalents are 91,700 crores.
But debt
So it
also,
would
but
be
no,
excellent
but you have the debt also, Lata. Let's
Debt
not.
is 1,78,000.
1,70,000. That's what I say. Right? Debt also is 1,70,000. That's what I say.
No, so treasury management is obviously
Is very good. That has been, in fact, I'm contrary. I'm against this policy of having 1,70,000 crore
And
debt
cash.
and 90,000 crore cash, because this is not an investment income, and I've always said that on this treasury income you need to give a lower P multiple,
Exactly.
because this is not a finance company or this is not an investment company. So let's not. But I'm just trying to give the explanation of other income, because why this is seen higher.
Okay, by
a
the way,
tail-ender question. At what point will you start, effectively getting in retail and telecom into the valuations? I mean, retail is a 6,000 crore segment revenue and just a 2.5% margin. But with RelJio, it could be more of digital marketing. We don't know. Is there at some point in time, a year down the line, where that valuations will become material?
See, Lata, I don't think that retail will really be. Retail has virtually been written off by the market. Let's accept in that way, because if you really see the organized retail, see the growth, 5,000 crore to 6,000 crore. Again, one can argue that this has been the festive season. You always see the good numbers coming in. But what is happening on the margin front? 117 crore to 147 crore. That means the margin has fallen maybe below 2.5% or maybe below 2.4%.
It is 2.4.
It is. That's what I say. I have not calculated because one needs to, but I'm just taking a ballpark by making the oral calculations. So that is not that is virtually a write-off. I don't think that can really push the valuation further. If you really ask me on the Reliance Jio, I don't think that anything will largely it will get factored in FY17, because even if we are talking of if you go by the Mukesh Ambani AGM statement, he has said that they are targeting for 5,000 rupees revenue per person per year, or maybe 400 to 500 rupees per person per year. Can they have 7 crore 70 million subscriber in the first year itself? I have my doubts. If you have that, even if you have 60 million, then you are targeting for a turnover of about 30,000 crore. And now take 40% EBITDA of that, because you can, that's the kind of EBITDA earned by the Bharti Airtel kind of company, or maybe they have 37, 38. I'm again giving that benefit. So again, it will be partly seen getting reflected in FY17, that too not substantial, because mind it, the kind of depreciation and interest burden of about 1 lakh crore which has been spent on Reliance Jio also will get booked in FY17 the moment they start operations, irrespective of the income and EBITDA, irrespective, and that can be as high as 15,000 crore. So let's in FY17 there won't be any contribution at the bottom line level. I'm not talking at the EBITDA or EBIT level. There won't be any contribution from Reliance Jio also for FY17, and I think it is futile to consider for FY18 at this stage.
Yeah, in fact, the market of course has given negative value as of now for Reliance Jio, but if you're hoping for any kind of clarity on Reliance Jio, there's none in this press release. Absolutely nothing. There's only been the normal statements that they give about building a world-class service, and the fact that
Anuj, that is what I have said, that market has been expecting. I've heard many of the experts saying they will give a roadmap, which I said that they will not, and probably that can only be the disappointment. And I think it is futile again to expect any kind of roadmap being given in the quarterly results.
The media release does not mention the word Jio at all. It stops with Reliance Retail, not the media release.
Yeah, I mean, it does
rapid
actually.
read does not show the word Jio.
Yeah, no, if you go to media release later and Reliance Jio Infocom, and then they shortlist it to RJIL. So if you go by that, then there are some statements, but it only talks about the kind of spectrum they hold and the fact that they've entered into an agreement with Reliance Communication, which also was the publicly disclosed information yesterday. So that is something which is given, but apart from that, there's no more clarity. Prakash, a word on Jio, and would the market be disappointed by this?
I don't think they would. There is of course mixed feelings about RelJio in terms of how soon it will start impacting the stock. But if you notice, the real meat of the announcements came in the AGM. Never in any of the earlier quarters also, I mean, except for these perfunctory mention of capabilities, there's been really not much except, in a statement when Mr. Ambani talked about the AGM. So if you want to rely on that, then probably, we are still a year away from real meaningful play getting into the picture. So, and nobody wants to factor in something so much in advance, I'm sure, because there could be so much of, conjecture which could take you, in a very wrong way. So that direction is still not kind of, explored. My sense is people will go down to simple math on the EPS changes, and just give it the simple valuation that you've always traditionally been giving, 10 times, 11 times multiple on the EPS, and then add a little bit from the other businesses. That's
Okay.
Anuj, let me just add one more point here. If you see the, we have been talking in spite of the higher tax liability, which is at 23.87% in this quarter. Apart from that, the deferred liability also has come off 62 crore. If you see 9 months tax liability, it is average at 22.95%. While for this quarter, Q3, it is 23.87. That means they have factored in extra 1.5% or maybe 1.7% if I include the deferred tax. Deferred tax is a non-cash item, that is just a book entry, but for the purposes of arriving at the net profit, that has been considered that also. So in spite of that, the results are looking good. So we have talked of the other income. So let me take this tax point of also of the higher tax liability being provided in Q3 with the overall 9 months tax liability seen lower by maybe about 170 basis points. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do one thing. For now, let's just do a quick recap of what we have learned so far from Reliance Industries numbers. Reliance Industries Q3 numbers have beaten street estimates by a margin. 3 or 4 factors. Petchem, where it was expected to be a 7% degrowth. Actually, there's been a bit of a growth or flat performance, so that's one positive. Refining, yes, you would say that it's quarter on quarter it's a spectacular number, but again, if you are only going by our poll number and the market expectation in that, it's fallen maybe slightly short of that because of the GRM of $11.5, which itself is a growth, but the poll was $12 and the throughput has clearly increased more than the market expected. So that's on refining, and really these are the two big businesses. The other income has gone up by almost 700 crore quarter on quarter, so that's also helped beat the net profit number. So that's the information that we have on Reliance so far as these numbers are concerned.
Okay, just a quick word on what are the price targets that all our experts are expecting, Prakash?
Yeah, I think, except for maybe a little bit of disappointment tomorrow, the stock would start kind of getting into a little bit of a new momentum, but maybe not at the same frenetic pace that we've seen in the last 2-3 months. But I think it will probably stabilize between 1000 and 1150.
Okay, Mr. Tulsian, you were advising booking profit anyway, but now that your view is that these numbers are better than your expectations,
I think these numbers will be well received by Anuj. I'm just talking from the expiry point of view. I'm not talking of the long-term view, but I think these numbers will really be pleasing the market, and probably that we have seen. See, yesterday
so
we
over
have seen
3 to 6
caution.
months. How much?
No, I'm just taking first on the expiry. Maybe that's the caution on Monday. We have seen the stock correcting by 60-70, but today it was up. Maybe that in line with the market, one can always argue that it was not in sync with the market when the market was so bullish, but I am expecting, probably I won't be surprised to see the expiry happening closer to about 1100 rupees for this for this series. Yeah.
Okay, Mayuresh?
Well, I think our target is very much placed at 1150, and clearly I think, as Prakash was mentioning, I think if you look at the core business and if you just value it on the normal businesses and the EPS thereof, what we've seen in the past quarters, we're still envisaging an EPS of around 101 rupees on an FY17 basis. Currently trades around 10.3 times. We put a multiple of 11.3 times on FY17 numbers, so a target of 1150 on Reliance.
Okay, Sudeep, what's your price target?
Yeah, we have a buy recommendation with a target price of 1150, but with a better than expected numbers, probably we'll revise our EPS estimates upwards. Currently, we have a EPS estimates of around 90 rupees for FY17, so that will be slightly go upwards. So we'll revise our target price post the earnings meet.
All right, Anuj, you get the last word.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be fair on my part because, as we've said...
No, I'm not asking you to give a price guess.
Yeah. No. But my sense is that maybe, tomorrow morning there could be a bit of a profit booking purely because the stock has rallied so much, some of which was factored in by Monday's fall as well, but the stock again rallied today towards the high point. And if you go by the empirical evidence, the stock never rallies after numbers. It actually sees profit booking after numbers, so I'm going by that.
Okay, and we also have seen a big monster rally today in the markets, short covering rally before the US markets opened. So there could be other global factors that could also instill a correction. We do not know that yet. Well, so that's the word coming in from the Reliance numbers. Clearly a beat as far as the profit is concerned, and as well because of the improvement in the Petchem margin expected to dip and actually the Petchem EBIT wasn't flat, it actually was a little higher than the previous quarter's performance. That's the word coming in from the Reliance numbers, a beat, but the markets have seen a big rally in the stock, and therefore tomorrow there could be a little bit of a scope for correction, though the majority of the participants here are expecting 1100 plus on the stock as a price, maybe in course of time, actually by the end of the January contract itself. That's it on the special coverage of the Reliance numbers. Thanks for watching. More news on CNBC TV 18 follows.